got a couple questions here.
Came in through social media, through emails, through the website.
Robert
wants to know, I'm in the Wisconsin area. What can I plant after I harvest my garlic in a couple of weeks?
You can plant tomatoes, potatoes, cucumbers, peas, turnips, and rutabagas. These are all ideal crops.
Now, tomatoes, that's if you have the extra plant starts, and we do have the plant starts.
But definitely, and potatoes too, if you have seed potatoes. But cucumbers, peas, turnips, rutabagas are all really good options.
In the upper Midwest, we want to hold off on those peas, turnips, and rutabagas till about the early portions of August, so the days will start. By the time they get mature, we find that the rutabaga and turnips do better when we plant that area.
My tomatoes look normal, but then they turn black on the bottom. What's wrong with them?
Well, that is called blossom end rot. We talked about in the beginning of the first segment today. This is blossom end rot due to the fact there is not enough water in the soil in order for the calcium to be uptaken by the plant in order to produce the fruit and develop the fruit correctly. Is not necessarily a calcium deficiency, but just not enough calcium in which can be picked up for the plant. What we can do in order to fix this is water on a regular basis. You don't necessarily have to add calcium to the soil in order to get the amount in that soil, but water consistency, and it will fix the next generation of tomatoes on that crop, on that plant. It won't fix the ones that are currently black on the bottom right now. People will choose to add Epsom salt. That does not work.
No, Epsom salt is magnesium sulfate. I don't know where this myth came from, but it could take calcium away from your soil if you use too much of it. But it's not terrible for your soil. You just want to use it moderately. It'll help make your plants look more green and colorful, bright, vibrant.
Bigger blooms as
well.
Next question. Are shrews good or bad for the garden? Number one, what is a shrew?
A shrew is a rodent, basically. It's like it's not a mole or a vole. It's like, it's...
If you looked at it, you would think it was like a miniature mole or vole.
They're smaller.
Yeah.
So they're probably like the mice compared to a rat. The shrews are smaller compared to a mole or a vole. But they don't hurt the plants. They just burrow into the garden. They don't burrow into the garden beds. They live under leaves and grass matter, such as like mulch. And they might use existing mole and vole tunnels. So they're fine for the garden. They're not really causing any problems. Typically, if you think something else is causing problems, it's going to be a mole or a vole. So shrews kind of come and use the tunnels that were there, and they do their thing. They
make up a large portion. What the typical shrew diet is?
They like to
what?
Eat insects.
Yeah,
and they typically do eat bad insects like beetles. They will eat grasshoppers and butterflies and moth larvae. And they will eat different earth. They will eat earthworms, but they're not going to burrow as much.
But they're beneficial to the garden.
Yeah.
You just want to. Just kind of be aware of them and know if you're getting a vole, a mole, or anything else. Question is about boxwood shrubs. I have about 15 2 to 3 year old boxwoods that I'm trying to grow into a hedge. Suddenly the outside of the leaves tips have been turning yellow. I'm concerned I might lose them. Is there anything I should do to assure their health? Well, you can feed and water your bushes like normal to help them recover from root rot. Sometimes the root system of a boxwood shrubs get infected with fungal pathogens like Phytophthora, Phytophthora. When root rot becomes serious, it can manifest as yellowing and curling inward of the leaves, and they can turn upwards as well. The leaves can curl inward and turn upward, and the plant will look poorly. So if you water and feed them using all-balanced fertilizer from Dr. Earth, you will have better results, and you should see the recovery come back from those boxwoods. John asked, my soil is like concrete. I can't even get a rototiller to chisel through it. Let's address this question to Ben from Standard Process. He is the farm property supervisor there, and we'll see what he has to advise John and us on the question. Standard Process is your trusted whole food supplement manufacturer for over 90 years. To help identify the best supplements for you, find your local healthcare professional today. Go to standardprocess.com/patient.
This is Ben Bartlett from the Standard Process Organic Farm. Today, John asked a question about his super hardened concrete-like soil. So hard, in fact, that his rototiller can't even break it apart. And what can he do to improve that? This is an issue that's really close to my heart and my training. Soil that's like concrete can be an issue on a lot of gardens and a lot of farms. It's a relatively easy fix, but it can take a long period of time. The first thing you need to do is add some form of organic material to that soil, whether it's grass clippings, leaves, straw, coffee grounds. There's lots of things you can add. Usually a good compost source really improves the soil structure by improving the biology that's in that soil. What you're trying to get there is more biology that will break apart that soil and keep it aggregated. You also may have a nutrient imbalance in that soil. Usually you can start adding things like calcium in the form of gypsum or lime, depending on your soil pH. That will also help.
For more information, please visit thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.